Hey guys, welcome back. So recently I was going through some of my old Unity projects and I found this boss fight game that I made a while ago. And honestly I completely forgot how simple this game was. At that time the main idea was to just have a player fight a boss. The player could use a sword, shoot fireballs and use a double jump to escape from the boss attacks. The boss had 1000 health and whenever the boss lost 200 health it could perform a special attack. That was basically the entire game. It worked but there wasn't really much else going on. So I decided to go back to this project and see how much I could improve it. And I have already made quite a few changes. So let me show you what I have done. One of the first things I wanted to improve was the player's ability to survive during the boss fight. Previously, the main way to avoid attacks was just moving around and using the double jump. So I added a shield to the player. Now, instead of only trying to dodge every attack, the player has another way to protect themselves. I also added some particle effects and visual feedback to make the interactions feels better. It is a small change, but during gameplay, it makes the player feel like they have more control over the fight. But then I thought, if I am already updating the game, why not make the actual gameplay more interesting? So I added three different game modes. The first one is survival mode. And this one is pretty simple. You can't attack the boss, you just have to survive. So the entire game becomes about dodging the boss attacks and staying alive. I actually like this mode because it completely changes how you play the game. Normally you are trying to damage the boss, here you are just trying not to get destroyed. Then I add challenge mode. In this mode you have a limited amount of time to defeat the boss. So now you can't just take your time. You need to attack, dodge, use your abilities and try to finish the boss before the timer runs out. And the third mode is elimination. This is basically the normal version of the game where you can fight the boss without the restrictions from the other modes. So now instead of having only one way to play the game, there are three different modes. After adding those modes, I noticed another problem with the boss fight. The boss already had special attacks, but there wasn't a really clear indication of when one was about to happen. So imagine you are just fighting normally and suddenly the boss starts a special attack. You don't really know what is happening until it's already happening. So I added a slider that shows when the boss is preparing for a special attack. Now the player gets some indication that something is about to happen and can prepare for it. I think this makes the boss fight feel much more understandable. After adding all these new features, I also realized that the old UI didn't really fit the game anymore. So I completely changed the UI. The old version was very basic and since I was adding new game models and new mechanics, I wanted the UI to feel cleaner and more organized. So I redesigned the menus and the gameplay interface. And honestly, I think this makes the game feel much better already. But I am not stopping there. Right now, I am also working on another mechanic for the boss fight. The idea is that when the boss loses a certain amount of health, two child enemies will spawn. So now the player won't only have to deal with the main boss, they also have to deal with these smaller enemies. This should make the later part of the fight much more difficult. But this part is still under development. And obviously, while making it, things started breaking. That is not exactly what I wanted. I am still working on the child enemy system and fixing these problems. Once I get it working properly, I also want to improve how these enemies behave and how they fit into the actual boss fight. And there are still a lot of other things I want to change. I want to improve the boss fight even more, add better feedback, improve the attacks, polish the animations and effects, and probably add a few more mechanics. So this is definitely not the final version of the game. But compared to the old version, I think it's already a pretty big improvement. And that is basically what I have been working on so far. I went back to this old boss fight game, added a shield, added 3 new game modes, improved the special attack indication, completely changed the UI, added more visual effects, and now I am working on the child enemy system. There is still a lot more to do, but I think this game is finally starting to feel like something much bigger than the old original version. So I am going to keep working on it and see how far I can take it. So if you have any ideas for what I should add next, whether it is a new boss attack, a new enemy, another game mode, or just one small feature that could make the game more fun, let me know in the comments. I might actually add your suggestion to the game. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.